So, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving a 20-year prison sentence for Epstein, has said she would be willing to testify in front of Congress, but Republicans aren't interested. Yeah, I mean, this is the moment that out of all the moves they've made, out of Trump and all of his gaffes that he's had about this, and out of Republicans trying to figure out a way to put this to bed, this one here to me speaks the loudest. It rings the loudest because this is their moment, and they're going to pass on it. And so I'm going to be reading this article here from MidasNews.com. And folks, I can't believe that I'm actually reading this headline out loud in 2025. But folks, here we are. Ghislaine Maxwell ready to testify to Congress, but the GOP is not interested. Trump and congressional Republicans continue to pull a bait and switch with their base. Now, I guess that's what she looks like these days. According to the reporting from the Daily Mail, Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, is ready and willing to testify to Congress about her knowledge of Epstein's pedophile network, but the Republican-controlled Congress has not called her to testify. Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year sentence on sex trafficking charges, told sources she is more than willing to testify about the Epstein files, which contain evidence of other Epstein conspirators, despite Maxwell being the only person who has not yet been convicted in the scandal. Now, no one from the government has ever asked her to share what she knows, a source told the Daily Mail. She remains the only person to be jailed in connection to Epstein, and she would welcome the chance to tell the American public the truth. Despite the rumors, Ghislaine was never offered any kind of plea deal. She would be more than happy to sit before Congress and tell her story. Now, the news comes only days after Trump's DOJ stunned his MAGA base and the right-wing influencer universe by releasing a memo stating that the infamous Epstein client list doesn't exist, despite Trump Attorney General Pam Bondi telling reporters in February that she had it sitting on her desk. Trump later chastised reporters for asking about the DOJ memo, saying, "Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years." Trump's response to the DOJ memo has caused a right-wing revolt against his administration, not yet seen in the decade Trump's power hold on the U.S. politics, likely because Trump openly campaigned on releasing the evidence of the pedophile network that allegedly included Democratic politicians and Hollywood celebrities. A recent Trump post on his own social network, Truth Social, about Epstein has received to date, and I guess at the time I'm reading this, 45,000 negative comments from Trump's own supporters. Midas Touch editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski cataloged some of the best responses. Subscribe to the Midas Touch Substack page to read the article here. So, folks, this is the moment right here that if you've been waiting to see all the Democrats brought down, if you've been waiting to see everyone exposed, this is the moment you've been waiting for, because you're never going to get Jeffrey Epstein on the witness stand. That ship has long sailed. The person closest to him who knows everything and can tell the truth if she's willing to is Ghislaine Maxwell. Republicans have went after Democrats for years, because I know what someone's saying right now. I know somewhere there's a MAGA, somewhere there's a Republican going, well, why didn't the Democrats release it, Brando? Well, I can say to you, it's probably because the Democrats had people on there they didn't want to expose. Probably because the Democrats are capable of covering stuff up and supporting dirty-ass people. I can say that. I can admit that out loud. But what I would ask you is, you guys are literally at this point on the 1-yard line. It's 1st and 10 with the ball on the 1-yard line, and it's 1st and 10. All you got to do is go for it, and you're not going to. You're gonna punt. You're just gonna give up. This is your moment. You've got the presidency, you've got the House, you've got the Senate, you've got the Supreme Court. Trump has immunity for official acts. So why can't Republicans just go ahead and say, yeah, Mrs. Maxwell, just come on in and pull up a seat. Tell us everything you know. This is their moment, and they're passing on it. And then when you go back and start putting the pieces of this puzzle together, if you remember, Trump wished her well. A person who is serving a sentence for trafficking children with Jeffrey Epstein, he wished her well. And then he said, well, why wouldn't I wish her well? I mean, she's going to prison. Her boyfriend died. Folks, I don't have that kind of compassion for people who have hurt children. Now, I'm agnostic. I'm not much of a believer. But in the Bible, Jesus says that if someone was to hurt one of the children, it would be better that a millstone be tied around their neck and them cast to the bottom of the sea than to stand before him in the day of judgment. Now, I would imagine if he feels that way about people who hurt little children, he probably also feels that way about the people that will go out of their way to cover it up, wouldn't you think? So I agree with that sentiment. I agree that if you hurt a child, you should be punished to that extreme. I truly do believe that. So why can't why would Trump wish someone like that well? Would you wish a child trafficker well? He wished her well. And then floated the idea of giving her a pardon. And his people was like, no, you can't do that. That'll really raise some eyebrows. And now he's saying, just stop talking about it. Why are we still talking about this guy? Let's talk about making America great again. Well, the reason why we're still talking about this guy is because you've talked about it for years, and you've held it and dangled it over Democrats' heads for years. This has been what you've said would drain the swamp. This has been what you've said would expose the deep state. Let me ask you this question. Do you really think Donald Trump cares about fellow Republicans? I don't. And Donald Trump has went after Democrats, and Mike Johnson, the Republicans, they've went after Democrats tooth and nail. So if they're clean, if the Republicans are absolutely squeaky clean on this one and there's nothing for you to worry about and nothing for them to worry about, then why not go for it? It's 1st and 10 on the 1 yard line. You've got all the time in the world to get this right. You've got more chances to get it right. Why aren't you taking it? I can only think of one reason why someone wouldn't take it. I can only think of one reason why that someone in these shoes would be not interested in hearing her talk. I can only think of one reason why Trump would wish her well. I can only think of one reason why that he would be thinking about maybe pardoning her. We all know what that one reason is. And I've sat back and I've watched the videos. I've seen people sharing them. Hey, watch this Trump supporter. They're done with Trump. Yeah, they are. Some of them have even lit their MAGA hat on fire. Good for them. I'm glad they did it. But I'm still waiting for them to say they'd like to see Trump go down. I'm still waiting for that moment when they say that. And if someone said it, send it to me. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see at least one of them say, hey, Trump, if you've done this, I want to see you go to the bottom of the jail. Trump, why are you hiding this testimony? Republicans, why are you hiding this testimony? Because a lot of times what I get from MAGA when I'm arguing with them is they'll say, we don't care about Republicans. They're rhinos. So is the Congress a rhino now? Are they all rhinos? Mike Johnson a rhino? Is the Senate a rhino? Are the Supreme Court's rhinos? What's Trump? This is your moment. Go for it. You've got them hurt. They're on the ropes. Knock them out. It's so obvious. It's so painfully obvious. And folks, it's hard for me to find a silver lining in any of this. It really is. Because we should have never been in the boat we're in today. But I can't lie. It is a little bit, it's somewhat enjoyable to sit back and watch these people try to spin this one. There's part of me that's chuckling inside, but I can't chuckle all the way out loud because of all the lives that they've ruined. Because of all the people who they have ruined along the way and had no problem doing it. They called us the enemy from within, said we should be rooted out like the vermin. Well, here's your chance. Let her talk. Root them all out like the vermin they are. Why not? We all know why not. And that's because we can see past the tip of our nose. And the reason that we are not in a cult is because we saw past the tip of our nose. Folks, this is going to be really interesting to see where this one lands. It's hard telling what will happen next to try to distract from all this. But there's going to be a bunch of those coming. And I think they've been trying to distract from it for a long time. Going all the way back to, well, I wish her well. Yeah, I can say I've wished a lot of people well in this world. I have had some really bitter feuds and rivalries with people in my life. There was one person that I grew up with, and we had a really, really hard falling out. This person had a really hard falling out with our family. It was really bad. It was one that took us years to get past. But the last time I seen him, I shook his hand and I said, you know what? Things happen. Shit happens, and I don't hold it against you. And I wished him well. But I've never in my lifetime wished a predator well.